This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Good morning. Right back like we never left.
Yeah.
Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. You're listening to the W Show on 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio. Watching us live on one of our social media pages. We appreciate you. If this is your first time checking us out, thank you for making us a part of your day. We're live on location. 18th Divine. I love saying that, man.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
18th Divine for the Kansas City Juneteenth Cultural Parade, which kicks off at noon. How is everyone?
Good, man.
Good.
The sun's shining.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up around 6 a.m. for no reason.
I started seeing my phone blue. I'm like, who is this? Wait a minute. Oh, that's Q. What is Q doing up so early?
Man, who knows? I actually got a good night of sleep, though, actually. So.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Not waking up at 6 a.m.
Yeah, no, man. I was asleep by like 10, 11 o'clock on a Friday, which is rare.
Oh, yeah.
Very rare.
Yeah. Well, we're here. If you guys are looking for something to do today, there is the Kansas City Juneteenth Cultural Parade that is going on right here, 18th Divine. It starts at noon. But, there'll be a lot of other things that are going on along the 18th Divine corridor here. I believe the parade route goes from 18th and Benton all the way down 18th Divine. We're right here in front of Soiree Steak and Oyster House, where you can get some fine dining as well.
Definitely. That seafood mac, a must-have.
I haven't had it, but I've had the fish sandwich.
Yeah, we know you've had the sandwiches, Steve. It's no surprise.
I'm a chicken finger guy. You know that.
Exactly.
Basic.
All right, coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about the Falcons. Julio Jones, their wide receiver. Well, was their wide receiver. They've traded Julio to the Tennessee Titans for a future 6th-round pick. And a 2nd-round pick. Well, they traded with a future 6th-round pick and for a 4th-round pick. So Julio didn't get much for Julio, but we're going to see what Julio is doing down there in Tennessee as they had their voluntary workouts earlier this week. Denver Nuggets big man Nikola Jokic, he wins the NBA MVP award. Is that a surprise?
No, I think he's been the favorite since December, January.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been seeing it early in the year. So.
Yeah. Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul. That happened. When was that? Earlier? Well, last Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday boxing.
Whenever it was. Whenever the scam took place.
We'll talk about that and see exactly how much money Floyd pocketed off of that scam that Q calls it. And coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll have our Snickers of the Week. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
And Falcons trade wide receiver Julio Jones and future 6th-round pick to Titans for 2nd and 4th-round picks. What are you guys' thoughts?
Oh, it's interesting. I didn't see him going to Tennessee. I did not see that happening.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week. Julio, he made the comment that he wanted to go to a contender. I know Q, you don't agree with what I'm getting ready to say here, but I don't feel like Tennessee is that contender that he's looking for. Julio also said that he wanted to have a big arm quarterback who can get the ball down the field. I don't think Marcus Mariota is that guy. So,
I mean, his quarterback is Ryan Tannehill, isn't it?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill. Sorry, I'm living.
So,
I'm living in the past.
I'm
living in 2019.
If I'm an NFL athlete, I would much rather play with an athletic Ryan Tannehill than a Matt Ryan. I mean, he's a statue.
Yeah, but there are so many other places you could have gone.
I mean, where would you go outside of Seattle?
Kansas City. You know,
why would he want to come here and play number 3?
Here's the thing about that. It's like they don't really. There's not really a number 1 wide receiver with the Chiefs. There's not really
the number 1
2
wide receiver is Travis Kelce.
But they don't look at it as that though. That's the thing. Like I can see on the depth chart. You know, you're gonna have, of course, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, then whoever else, however they fall.
Showtime didn't look at Floyd Mayweather's fight as a scam, but it was still a scam.
But here's the thing, though. You're going to get just as much action, if not more, because guys are going to double Tyreek Hill.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Oh, my goodness. Jazz, help me out here.
I agree with you. I agree. And I think he would come in and I don't think he would be used to being behind somebody. I think we talked about it a little bit last week. Mm-hmm. And I think that's totally different. I think that having those other two as a focus, I know we talked a little bit about Sammy Watkins last year about how he's still a threat on the field. You still have to pay attention to them. I think that's one thing, but I don't think he'd get as many targets as he's thinking that he would. Yeah,
no, this is not an offense that is built for a possession wide receiver. And not really to say he's a possession wide receiver, but he's a guy that's going to make the catch. And when you're used to being a number 1, your skill set is in that number 1 category. And I don't think Julio wants to be running down the field, 70 plays a game and touching the ball 5 times.
Yeah, that's just it, though. He doesn't want to run down the field that much. With the Chiefs, he wouldn't have to do that. I mean, if you think about it, Julio's 32 years old. His days in the NFL are numbered, and so I don't feel like he wants the wide receiver, the wide receiver 1 numbers. I mean, of course he does because of pay and all that stuff, how that works out. But I don't really feel like he wants to, be that number 1 target.
And then I think he does. And
even in Tennessee, he's not the number 1 target.
He'll pretty much be the number 1 target. He's the guy that's tenured on the field. They don't have a tight end that commands 100 receptions a year.
I know.
Like there's
a reason for that, though. The reason why is because they have Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's going to take much of the load.
Exactly. And then a lot of your second, your third down passing, really a lot of your first down passing is going to go straight to Julio. You got to get Julio involved. And you got to open up different things. Like you don't want. And that's what they want. They don't want guys to be in the box. Mm-hmm. They want a guy that can go out there and make a catch anywhere. Not saying that they don't have that guy, but if you like you're the Chiefs, you have a Travis Kelce that's going to catch the ball at any spot on the field. You have a Tyreek Hill. He can catch the ball at any spot on the field. When you look at guys that can catch in traffic, and then guys that can also create, they're few and far in between. And I think Julio is one of those guys, and you don't want the Chiefs don't want that type of track team with Julio in there. I think Julio kind of throws that off. You look at the Le'Veon Bell situation. Le'Veon didn't play as much probably as Chiefs fans wanted him to.
And I don't know if it's a fake tweet out there right now. Did you see the tweet from Le'Veon? Well, he said, "I will never play for Andy Reid again. I will retire first." That's what it said, the tweet.
Yeah, and that's probably a fake tweet. But, I mean, you look at it, he's a running back. So he came here. He wanted to play with a contender while he rested up for whatever team he's going to go to next. And
almost got him a ring.
Yeah, and it becomes that. And I don't think Julio is there. I think Julio wants to play. He's been hurt. And I don't think he wanted a team to come to where he's going to sit here for a year and then go somewhere else. And then you look at some guys just aren't accustomed to moving a lot. He moved 2 hours from Atlanta. That's not a big deal for him.
So basically it's right down the road, St. Louis.
It's right down the road. I think he's going to be happy there. And yes, Tennessee is a contender. Tennessee is a playoff team. And in the AFC, I won't even say all the time the best team wins. I think it's the team that's hot at the time. When you look at when they beat the Chiefs, the Chiefs were definitely a better team, but defensively, they weren't the best team.
Yeah.
And Tennessee showed that. But
they're on the schedule this year, so he'll be able to see firsthand.
Yeah, we'll see if they can stop Derrick Henry from running, because I feel like he's still running from the last time they played.
Yeah.
Now, Pro Football Focus ranks the NFL's best offensive play callers ahead of the 2021 season. The top 6 were Matt LaFleur, Brian Duval, Andy Reid, John Gruden, Joe Brady, and Byron Leftwich.
This one kind of has me confused because the offensive play callers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly, according to Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy is the play caller, right? So why is Eric Bieniemy not on this list? If that's the case, do you get where I mean, according to Andy Reid,
I mean, I know why. And it's hard to play in that shadow. Not really play in that shadow. It's hard to really coach in that shadow.
Mm-hmm.
Because everyone assumes that Andy Reid, yes, is calling the plays, which he probably has some influence. But yeah, the respect level that that EB doesn't get, man, it's shameful.
Yeah, and I know Andy Reid gets all of the great offensive mind. I get it, but when the rubber meets the road, is it Andy Reid calling the plays or is it Eric Bieniemy? A lot of people would like to really know that.
And I think if I won't even say if you're a Chiefs fan, because I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I watch it enough to know that when they're conservative, it's definitely Andy. But I feel like late in the game, Andy wants to still be making those calls, but I feel like he trusts Eric Bieniemy enough to make those calls. I don't think he really steps in like that. So yeah, he is being overlooked. But a lot of times, I think you can tell when they get conservative. I think that's Andy saying, let's chill it out.
Well, here's the thing. It's funny that you say that because I felt like it's the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
When the more the conservative, to a certain degree, because you got to remember, Eric Bieniemy is a running back, so he'd much rather run the ball. A former running back, he'd much rather run the ball than throw 100 times down the field in a game. So and even when you look at the Super Bowl, it's like you guys are just going to pass all game. I felt like that was more Andy Reid play calling than Eric Bieniemy, because I think Eric Bieniemy would have been like, hey, we need to try to at least run the ball because they can get us somewhere.
Yeah, they could have, but I mean, there was no.
That's just my
those linebackers were really pesky, and that offensive line wasn't doing anything with it, and we saw it in the final score. So,
Fair enough. Now the Denver Nuggets big man Nikola Jokic wins first NBA MVP award.
The Joker, I like it. It mixes things up. It seems like the NBA for a long time has gone away from giving LeBron that award. But I think this is deserved. He's pretty much been a dominant force. What would you say, the last couple of years? 2-3 years. Last year in the bubble, he really did a lot. He and I won't even say he carried that team. They played good team ball, but I feel like this year he carried a lot of that team just from his output.
Right.
And he's become that leader now on that team that, yes, he can win an MVP. And I like that because it just adds a certain depth to the league. Like, you kind of get tired of seeing LeBron and KD winning all the time. So I really like it. It's wild that a white guy could win MVP in the NBA on Juneteenth. But look at that, the comedy of life. But no, he really did.
Yeah,
Here's
the thing though. Like when I think about Jokic, I look at the comparison of like a Larry Bird type big man that can shoot, or a Dirk Nowitzki, that guy that can shoot. And that also has some inside game. Like, he's a big guy. But here's the thing about that. It's like when I see Giannis out there trying to shoot threes all game, I'm like, why can't you just play to your strengths?
Yeah.
Play to your strengths. You see Jokic, I mean, he shoots very well for a big guy.
Shoots very well.
And I'm like, and he can also battle inside. So when I look at the MVP as well, I'm like, I thought it should have been Steph. You took your team. You have no Clay. Draymond Green was in and out all season for some injuries. And it's like, you're taking your team, you're putting them on your back. You got them into that playing game.
Yeah.
If Steph doesn't go out there and have, multiple 30+ point nights, they're not in the playoffs.
And even to counter that argument that Jokic has been missing his point guard for since January?
Yeah.
January, December. So again, a guy, putting the team on his back.
But I can't say that because you still got Michael Porter Jr., who was killing this season. Like, it was night and day from last season.
Yes. But again, having to step up in the face of an injury.
Yeah. I agree.
And it may have been like February he got, Aaron Murray got hurt, but still, a significant loss to have your point guard go down like that. But yeah, no, I love this Jokic win. I think it adds that parity. But then to your point, I think it adds more fuel to that fire in Golden State when Steph comes, when Clay comes back with Steph. So I think both of them, we see a lot of fireworks next year from those guys, because I think they're going to shoot from everywhere for sure.
Now, speaking of Steph, Daryl Morey's tweet about Steph leads to hefty tampering fines. He and the Philadelphia Sixers each have been fined $75,000 for violating the NBA's anti-tampering rules regarding the tweet about the Warriors. And then the league announced Monday, Morey posted the below tweet on June 3rd with a screenshot of an Instagram post from Curry shouting out his brother, Seth, who plays for Philadelphia.
This is like, I don't agree with this. Come on, NBA.
Yeah.
Come on, NBA. It's like, man, y'all are like reaching. Come on. First of all, the tweet was initiated by Steph Curry. I mean, the Instagram post. Steph, if you're watching this on our social media feeds at the W Show KC, you can see that Steph said, "Hey, yo, S. Curry," meaning his brother that plays on Philly. You killing tonight? ? And then you have Daryl Morey who comes and says, "Join him." Like that's not tampering. And I can get what the NBA is like. Well, he's saying is maybe that might put a thought in Steph's. Maybe I should go join my brother, but I don't feel like he would go to Philadelphia. I feel like his brother would go and join him in Golden State.
Yeah, it's possible, but I mean, even this is one of those things. I think you have to, because I'm against it. I'm going to tell you now, I'm against it. Okay. But I think it's something that you just have to get ahead of. Where does it go from here? Like, how much more worse does it get from these teams? Teams start DMing guys, just whatever it is, which they probably already do anyway.
Oh, of course.
But still, it's like, where does it stop? And I think that's what the NBA just wants to do, is just to get ahead of it. Hey, let's not play these silly games.
But I think that's exactly what it was. I thought it was pretty lighthearted. Like, just the fact that it was his brother and everything, they're siblings. I feel like it'd be a different scenario if they weren't related, but I didn't think twice about it since they are related.
Yeah, no, definitely.
He just shouting out his brother, and then, it's social media, though. Like, you're trying to tell me that I can't have Twitter fingers if I want? Like, come on.
No, not when control comes into play.
Yeah.
Well, NBA also fines Heat president Pat Riley $25,000 for comments about LeBron James. Riley is being fined specifically for comments he made and the possibility of him returning to the Heat sometime in the future.
Yeah, this one is more, I think, detrimental. And just because it's LeBron James, don't get me wrong, but I mean, this one is more like, hey, we still got the key under the mat for you.
Yeah.
So
no, definitely. And so again, nip it in the bud just before it even starts to do what it's gonna do. And like, yeah. Now I get the NBA stance, but on social media it's a bit of a reach.
Let's hear what he had to say to get him fined.
Who was responsible for LeBron coming down here? Was it you or was it Wade? Because I'm hearing both ends of this. Wade saying it's him, you're saying it's you. Who was it? And follow up, is the key still under the doormat?
Okay, look at you see this here?
The wine, yes.
Yeah. The UFO again.
But that's the worst thing that you could do with wine is pour that much into a glass unless you're really like desperate. Because you only should pour 3 ounces. There's about 9 ounces in this glass.
Right.
That was an answer. I love that answer. That was an excellent answer.
I thought it was going to be a 9-ounce interview, and it's not. It's a 3-ounce interview, and I poured too much. But to ask your question about LeBron, if I were to give you a real truthful answer, I'd probably be excommunicated from the NBA. So I can't do. And what was the second part of your
the key under the mat?
Yeah, the key that was under the doormat. You know,
there was the key was always going to be under the mat.
Is it under Utah's mat?
I can guarantee you. I don't believe. I'm trying to think if I have left that key under that doormat. Okay?
You took it back.
Change the lock.
No, I didn't take it. Did I? I never was quoted on that. I think that was a Heat thing. Come on. Get to the point where that quote came from. I know exactly where the quote came from. It wasn't from me.
Pat,
I would leave the key under the doormat if he would call me and let me know he's coming. I would do that, but I doubt very much that key's rusted now. He's LeBron is he's one of the greatest of all time, and for 4 years down here, if we want to go back and just remember what those 4 years were like, 4 years in the finals, 4 years of excitement, 4 years of writing, 2 world championships, the LeBron, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, Ray Allen, Shane Battier, Udonis, all of them. This is the best time for the Heat. So I wish him nothing but the best. And if he ever wanted to come back, then I'll put a new shiny key under that mat.
Wow.
But I can't. I just got this will just get me fined for.
No, but this is the problem. You thought he was talking about LeBron and the key. I think
he must be a Bruno Mars fan if he's going to leave the door open.
But he didn't say much, but on the tail end of that, he said if he wanted to come back, he can. Come on back, LeBron. Come on back home. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, and I mean that's every team in the NBA, isn't it?
Yeah,
every team in the NBA would take LeBron.
Right.
So I don't. But yeah, yes, I think the NBA needs to nip that in the bud because Pat knew what he could and couldn't say, and he knew he was towing the line.
Yeah, and then that was more of a straightforward one though. Like,
yeah. Fair enough. But we are going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll continue our top headlines, starting with the NBA playoffs. We'll discuss this when we come back. This is the W Show.
Dre, when he was younger, he loved to smile. And we knew he would need braces because his teeth were coming in funny. That's when he had the bunny rabbits. We called him the bunny rabbit.
Now, those are the same 2 front teeth there that they are now.
Then Dre ended up having to wear braces for 5 years because he never made it to appointments because he was busy playing basketball. If he missed practice, he don't get to play in the game.
This is the picture that was on the front page of the newspaper. All you can notice is the braces.
Then once he got to Michigan State, he broke the retainer.
My bottom teeth, they were really crooked, and I just wasn't getting braces again. Small Direct Club fits into my lifestyle so well. The liner is so great. It's easy to just grab it and go, and then I can change on the road. I did photo shoots with my liners in, and you can't see them.
I wish Small Direct Club would have been around when I was paying for them. I wouldn't have had to take them out of school. I wouldn't have had to miss work.
It's like a great feeling to have good teeth. A smile is a first impression. That's why I think having a great smile is so important.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we will talk about whatever topic you want. Starting off, Q calls it a scam, but Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul boxing event leads without a knockout. Is this a surprise?
Steve, did you pay for this?
Of course not. Of course I didn't pay for it. No.
Okay. So you were scamming too?
I would never. Nah. I just get the links. Actually, our boy C-Dot Carrington. He sent me the link. I'm like, cool, appreciate it. I don't know where you got this from, but thank you. I'll take it. I'm not gonna go out there searching to get to get some.
You don't
links.
have to look very far.
I know,
pirate links.
I know, but just watching this thing though, just starting off with friend of our show, Chad Ochocinco. He had
Seeing Stars.
Honestly, he was better than I thought. It was a four round, scheduled for 4 rounds, and the first 3 rounds, I was like, geez, to only be practicing, for this fight for 6 weeks, man, you seem like you know a little bit about the sport.
He's talked about it a lot, just even being a regular guy in a boxing gym growing up. So yeah, and what the stuff he talked about. Nate Robinson and all that. Yeah, he ended up getting knocked upside his head, but still, he
popped right up though.
Yeah, no, he popped right back up. So that's again, he's been in that ring, and as you see, it held up.
Yeah, and the thing about it though is he didn't fight a YouTuber. He didn't fight somebody that was just off the street. This guy that he fought was a bare knuckle fighter. So he knows a lot about punching and whatever else you do in bare knuckle fighting. But I feel like he held his own. Much respect to him. And he was like, hey, it was fun. I tried it. No matter what, you get knocked down, I still got back up and was still ready to throw him.
Yeah, and that's how I know you're a real fan of sports, to just watch that.
But yeah, the Floyd and Logan Paul thing. Floyd knows how to get money. I can say that. Like Floyd,
that's all it was.
The Pauls, Jake and Logan, they also know how to get money. They know how to use their, I guess you can call it fandom, to be able to generate some wealth. You don't agree with it? Like I do. I'm for it.
Yeah, no, I'm just against it because if Floyd is one of the greatest boxers of all time, it shouldn't even be a conversation that this is a fight. I don't care how popular this guy is, what kind of numbers he moves, but that's just my opinion. Like if you have Patrick Mahomes, right? You're not gonna put him in a throwing contest against Joe Schmo because he's thrown a 50-yard pass on YouTube.
Yeah,
like
but Pat would take that though. If somebody was telling Pat, all right, we're gonna put up $100 million for you to go out here and compete.
Yeah, the money is gonna be a motivator. Yes, yes.
saying.
In that, the money will probably be a motivator. But if I'm Pat, I'm not taking no. Like, why are you standing this person next to me in my arena?
I agree. I think it's almost like disrespectful that that you think you could even try it. Like the audacity. The audacity. And to tune in and watch, I'm like, I don't want to pay money. I don't want to sit there and watch these guys dance. Like at least clear the air. Let's see a knockout if you're gonna do it.
But here's the thing though, Floyd did not he slept him like real quick and he caught him if you saw that. But I just you could tell Floyd was just kind of messing around.
So again, why are they even fighting? If he's gonna knock him out and hold him up,
money. That's it. Exactly. That's it. It's just money. It's entertaining. I tell you that.
Yeah.
It's very much entertaining. Like I wasn't not gonna watch it. I mean, Sunday night, nothing's on. Yeah, I'm turning on just Floyd. Logan
It's
Paul
on
thing.
a Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday night.
Sunday fun day is a lot more entertaining than that.
Oh well, of course.
Like I would rather go to Power and Light and hear all of the EDM fist pumping before I sit there and watch Floyd beat up on some YouTube star.
Yeah, and Mike Lang, friend of the show, he said a lot of folks are streaming from IG Live. I'm sure they were. It was what, $5 to get into because it was held inside of Hard Rock Stadium. So $5 to get in there, and then you can just stream.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Floyd though. If you hang, it's like that carrot. If you dangle that carrot, and that carrot is money. And I saw this it was like an Instagram post where it said Floyd was able to generate $100 million from 15 minutes of boxing with Logan Paul. And they had another post, a picture of Michael Jordan and what he made over his years of playing in the NBA, which is $90 million. Floyd was able to generate $100 million in 15 minutes. Jordan $90 million over the course of 20 years of playing basketball.
And the economy's definitely a lot different 25 years later.
Yeah.
I mean, we could put that in, but yeah, it's ridiculous the amount of money that's wasted on entertainment. But okay.
Right. I mean, yeah, I agree. But think about it. He made enough money from it. So will he do it again? I don't know. We'll see.
He probably will. I mean, he took the fight against the 19-year-old or something. So,
right.
I mean, we shouldn't be surprised at this point.
Hey, more power to him. He can chase the bag if he wants to.
Yeah, he'll be fighting mascots in a minute. So.
I watch it though.
I know you would.
especially that the gorilla from Phoenix who got the sneaker deal. Yeah, buy him, Floyd. Y'all don't agree?
Moving right along.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have our Hate It or Love It segment and kick it off with our sneakers of the week. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Dre, when he was younger, he loved to smile. And we knew he would need braces because his teeth were coming in funny. That's when he had the bunny rabbits. We called him the bunny rabbit.
Now, those are the same two front teeth there that they are now.
Then Dre ended up having to wear braces for 5 years because he never made it to appointments because he was busy playing basketball. If he missed practice, he don't get to play in the game.
This is the picture that was on the front page of the newspaper. All you can notice is the braces.
Then once he got to Michigan State, he broke the retainer.
My bottom teeth, they were really crooked, and I just wasn't getting braces again. Small direct club fits into my lifestyle so well. The liner is so great. It's easy to just grab it and go, and then I can change on the road. I did photo shoots with my liners in, and you can't see them.
I wish Small Direct Club would have been around when I was paying for them. I wouldn't have had to take them out of school. I wouldn't have had to miss work.
It's like a great feeling to have good teeth. A smile is a first impression. That's why I think having a great smile is so important.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Starting off with our sneakers of the week. We have the Nike Zoom Kobe 6 Pro Tro Pops. What do you guys think?
Not a fan. Steve probably loves them.
These are cool though. I like them. It's the playoff pack is what they were back when they originally came out. But I like them. They're pretty cool.
The Nike Dunk Low Sunset Pulse.
I really like these. They're women's. Another one of those dunks that I like that are a women's, version.
And not that they're women's shoes. They just look like clown shoes. It's just a lot going on.
Agree.
Are these kid shoes?
Agree. Not a fan.
Oh man, I like them. I guess you just have to see them in person. I saw them on someone.
Yeah, those might be one of those pair.
Yeah, I just like the different variations of colors in my shoes though. So.
Mm-hmm.
Hard pass for me. It's a hard pass. The Air Jordan 3s.
I like these. I like these. These were a collab with a French designer, and these are pretty dope. I really love these.
They're decent. They're plain. I dig that part of it. Just the simplicity of them.
Yeah.
I like the colorway. I like the neutrals. I think it would be a nice little shoe. The Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG Light Fusion
Steve
Red.
Loves these opening day sneakers.
Nah, man, I really ain't feeling these.
Really?
If you say Ronald McDonald shoes, that's what these make. All they need is some golden arches on them. I'm just not feeling these.
You picked a lot of clown shoes this week, Steve.
Hey.
No, but these are decent. I think these are probably a shoe that you could only wear in the summertime.
Yeah.
I could see maybe some yellow shorts, a yellow shirt, and then throw a little of that in for a little razzmatazz.
I could see it. I don't know if that would be my first choice. But
Yeah, no.
I could see it. Now, Kevin Durant's personal bodyguard reportedly charged with the court and shoved PJ Tucker. Hate it or love it?
I hate it. He shouldn't be running on the courts. chest bumping another player, and not even another player because he's not a player, but he shouldn't be chest bumping a player. Like, yeah, you're security, but hold your horses, guy.
Let's take a look at what happened.
Durant fouled, and if it's on Tucker, that's going to be his fourth. As Tucker and Durant get into each other's face. Tucker now yelling at Kyrie Irving.
If you're Tucker, you got to be smart. Okay, it's going to be a double technical foul. You don't want to pick up another one and be ejected out of this ballgame.
Yeah, they'll be double technicals. I wonder if they might hand out another one for a third player who came in.
And that's a foul.
Yep, that's going to be his fourth. And Durant said something right after that. Now face to face. There appeared to be a security coming in that had the shove there. See, I think it's hard to tell if Tucker's yelling at Irving or the security guard who came barreling in.
Well, one of
Yeah, Katie, he didn't want any parts of PJ Tucker. He didn't want. And here's the thing: your private security. You got to. Hey, man, that's just as bad as LeBron's mom getting upset and coming on the court. You remember that in the playoffs with LeBron's mom when he was like, "Go sit your such and such down." No, y'all don't agree. Not the same.
You wanted to find a way to bring LeBron into this discussion.
But it's the same thing. I say that to say it's the same thing. It's like KD. If that's your personal, and I agree, and I believe that I read something where he was hired by the Brooklyn Nets as even though he's still KD's private security, but you can't come on the court, man, pushing a player like that's a no.
Yeah, that's an overreach, and I mean, it may have been reflexive because of the job, but again, where you're at. His awareness wasn't at a 90. Like, we need to bring his Madden awareness down.
Right. And it's like at that point, what's the worst that could have happened? It's not like you're at a nightclub getting in an argument, something like that. Like you said, you're on the court. I mean, maybe a punch, but like at that point, I don't think you need a whole security guard to step in.
Yeah, he's not gonna shank him on the court. Like, haha, I got you.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then PJ Tucker, that kind of just took, because it went from just, they're not going to take it outside of basketball.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to understand that for the up front. Like, they're not going to take it away from the game. That's just not what kind of players that they are.
He's a professional.
Yeah, if it was like, not to call anybody out, but if it was like Marcus Smart or somebody like that, I mean, then you gotta really think about it, But back in the day, Rasheed Wallace, those type of guys, is going down. But this is like, Katie ain't gonna throw no hands. PJ Tucker. I mean, even though PJ, I believe about that life, he's not gonna risk. They're in the playoffs, like they're not gonna risk anything. Because they could still win this series.
Yeah, again, he's a professional. He had ample time to smack him, and he didn't.
Now, Royals prospect Bobby Witt Jr. loses home run after umpire says he did not step on home plate. Hate it or love it.
I hated this.
Hated it.
Of course, you hated it, but in the rules of the sport, it's called baseball, and you got to touch all the bases. They don't say touch them all for nothing.
And I don't know if our viewers have seen the video, but you can go on our Facebook page. We posted it on there. But basically, it looked like the angle that I saw, and I wasn't there, but it looked like that he touched home plate. The umpire came and brushed the home plate off and everything. And the umpire really let the pitcher get set up again and then said, nope, pitch the ball, and we're going to call him out. That seemed like a setup to me. It did.
No, it wasn't a setup. He should have just touched the base. Like you leave no question. It's just like in football. You remember in football practice when you're doing your punt drill and it's Peter, and then you pick up the ball and you hand it to the ref. Like, it's just being thorough.
I missed that part of practice.
Yeah.
Steve said you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I missed that part.
Clearly. Yeah, but you have to do that because we've seen video where guys just, okay, yeah, just fair catch, but the ball's just dribbling. And then the guy just picks it up and just starts running. Like, we've seen that happen.
We had.
So you got to be thorough, touch them all.
There it is.
Facts. Now, Logan Paul claims rare Pokemon chain worn at Floyd Mayweather fight was worth $1 million. Hate it or love it?
Hate it.
Hate it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it. I love it. I'm gonna give it that because here's the thing, though, Q. What I tell you, these dudes know how to make money. Like,
yeah.
And you look at the card. I believe it was like gold plated or something, some kind of Pokemon gold plated. Charizard. I think that's how you say it. But yeah, they just know how to make money. Like, even if it's not worth $1 million, it's gonna be worth it now.
Even if you have no talent, you have no kind of like anything, you can just make money off of being, having the last name Paul, I guess.
I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I just don't think that is really aesthetically pleasing to wear the Pokemon card. I guess you are able to say that you have his chain, but
yeah.
I don't think I'm dropping a mail for that. I don't think so. I don't think so.
And it's just one of those things, man. He turned it into a big hoopla. That was his goal, and fine, but
yeah.
Hate it.
For sure. Now, Lakers LeBron James changing back to number 6 after Space Jam. Hate it or love it.
Oh, so you're going back to 6, huh?
Hate it.
Steve, there's LeBron breathes and you hate it. Like, we get it. Like, but yes, I like him going back to the number 6. I like the nostalgia of it all. And maybe he's getting ready to go see if that door is still open.
Nah, you know what it was. The fact that can't cut it wearing that number 2-3, man. Too much pressure.
Here we go. Steve,
too much pressure in that 23. It's just too much gotten to him. It's finally
all that scenario.
It's finally gotten to LeBron James. I'm happy that he's come to
how do you know he's just not being generous to Anthony Davis?
Nah.
See, yeah, you didn't even factor that in.
I did, because he would have given it to him at the point when Anthony Davis came to the team. And it's
maybe he didn't want to give it up at the time. Maybe he changed his mind.
He's like, man, or if he wanted to give it to Anthony Davis, like, here, you take it, because I can't do nothing with it. Here, you take it. That's what it is. He just, you
were just a fly on the wall and heard those conversations.
yeah. Nah, but in all seriousness, though, I think it's a good way for him to be able to put some more recognition for this Space Jam movie, because he's going to have the number 6 in Space Jam. And it's a cool thing, though, because a lot of these kids are going to go out there and buy that number 6 Space Jam jersey, and he's like, I'm gonna go back to 6. What better time than to do it right now?
Yeah, and then you don't want to keep living under the shadow of Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, the perfect timing right now. I'm ready to see the movie. I'm ready to see the new Space Jam.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Group outing sounds like.
Facts. Packers Jordan Love struggles as Aaron Rodgers' replacement at camp. Hate it or love it.
Do we not expect the guy to struggle in the shoes of one of the greatest quarterbacks?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time.
Yeah, I expect this, but then I also expect a guy like him and his supreme talent. I expect him to pull it together by the time the season comes. Like, we're talking about practice.
You sound familiar? AI? You talking about practice? But yeah, no, you always never want to be the guy to replace the guy. Like, you just don't. And that's where he's getting caught up at. And that's where a lot of Packers fans, Packers media, he's not Aaron Rodgers. It's going to take some time. Like, nobody just comes in and just automatically is the man. It's going to take a little bit of time, and they're giving him a short leash, man. And I don't understand why. He's
not Matt Ryan.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that too. The Packers fans are still upset, and rightfully so. Because Aaron Rodgers is sitting here. He won MVP. He got us an NFC Championship game. What's the problem? Like, bring him back. And Aaron Rodgers is not there right now, and I think they have a huge problem with that. And they should be very upset.
No, they shouldn't be upset. They should be upset with the team
Yeah. Oh no, not at Aaron Rodgers, but
yeah.
of the team. Yeah.
Yeah, they should be upset with the front office, and that's where fans draw the line. They don't want to be upset with the front office, no matter what the front office does, and that's unfortunate for the fans because Aaron Rodgers has done everything that he can.
Right.
Like anything that he could do for Green Bay, he did it, and they didn't appreciate it. So
yeah, but I think they've taken it out on him. Yeah, I really do. You know, I just feel like
they probably are, but you know, as talented as he is, I'm pretty sure he can make some things happen in Green Bay.
For sure.
For sure. Now, Titans Julio Jones won't take A.J. Brown's number 11. He'll wear number 2. Hate it or love it.
Again, love it. Moving on from the past.
Yeah. A.J. Brown tweeted 11 until I retire. I try to give it up, and he wouldn't take it. That's respect. You know, like you said, moving on from the past. A lot of times you get these guys that go to new teams, and they just want to start fresh. You know, go to a number. I'm sure the number 2, he's had that number somewhere down the line, or somebody, you know, in his family has had it. And it's like, why don't you get number 2? And, you know, so I agree. I'm like, do it, man. You just a fresh start. You've been number 11 your whole time in Atlanta. You know, start fresh. Get that number 2.
Maybe he just wants to be a whole number, Steve. You know, maybe 1 + 1 = 2. He's tired of the 11.
That's funny.
Now, Canadians were 30-1 to make the Stanley Cup final, and it better put $5K on them. Hate it or love it.
Ooh, I love it, man. I'm feeling that.
You wish you did. You wish you would have did it, huh?
Right. Yeah, I'm not that hip to hockey. Yeah, it's but for you to 30-1, what's that? 150 grand?
He put $5K to win 150,000. Yep.
That's
easy money. Easy money.
Until they lose.
True.
Yeah, once they lose, you're like, man, why did I do that?
How many times you do that this week?
I didn't bet anything this week.
Yeah,
I haven't bet in a long time. Like, I haven't. Yeah,
man, I thought the NBA playoffs was your thing.
It was. You know, but I just haven't bet. No reason why. I just haven't had time, I guess.
Just look at you leaving 150 on the table, Steve.
I know, but if any bettors are watching, I would say Jokic last game. He to bet Jokic, you know, after their coach came out and said, "Hey, we all played terrible." He'd be a guy to bet. I put some money on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure. Now, Alex Smith talking to networks about jobs. Hate it or love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it's trash.
Come on, man. You talking one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game? You mean you? He's one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game of football. You mean you don't want him out there talking sports, talking football?
Carisha, please. Not today. Like, I get the LeBron trolling, but
you don't think Alex Smith one of the best NFL quarterbacks ever?
Compared to, like, if we're comparing to like Ryan Leaf,
I mean,
Matt Ryan.
Nah, he's better than all them.
Phillip Rivers, then yeah.
He's the second best Chiefs quarterback ever to play for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Warren Moon wore that jersey.
I mean, I would say he's top 5 of all time.
Joe Montana wore that jersey.
He's top 5 quarterbacks of all time. Did you know that?
Patrick Mahomes wore that jersey.
Top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
Rich Gannon wore that jersey.
Alex Smith is a top 5 quarterback of all time.
All right. We're still trolling.
No. In all seriousness, though, with this, there's so many other guys out there.
So many other guys
that have, you know, that could be a good person that they could put in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like Alex Smith is the guy for that. You know, if you're going to be a color commentator, which is what I believe he's trying out to be, you got to have some kind of charisma. You got to have some kind of, I want to, Alex Smith is on. Okay, cool. I'm watching that game. Like, I want to see the game because Alex Smith is Tony Romo. You have so many people that get upset. I don't like the fact that Tony Romo calls the game. I don't like.
Yeah, no.
But he's a draw. Like, I don't feel like Alex Smith is a draw.
No, he's definitely not a draw. But when you, I mean, you look at guys like Nate Burleson. He ran the whole Nickelodeon broadcast for that NFL game with children and made it entertaining, made it fun for adults to watch as well. I'm not sure Alex Smith has that depth. Like I want depth when it comes to announcers.
Right.
And I don't think Alex Smith has that. And Alex Smith fits a mold. Like he fits a mold that networks want. And that's why a Tony Romo can be on there. That's why a Joe Buck and different people can be on there, because they want that mold. But I think a lot of America wants to be entertained and not bored to death.
I like, and the guy that's up and coming is defensive back. Used to play at KU, played at Denver. Aqib Talib. Yeah. I'd love to see Aqib Talib, because he's going to have that charisma that you never know what he's going to say, and you want that,
and that's what they don't want. They don't want a guy that they can't control. So then when it's the NFL, guys start talking about Black Lives Mattering and things like that. They don't want that.
And here's the thing. Here's the other thing on that. I mean, you look at a guy like Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp's not going to go with the grain. He's going to go against the grain all the time, and that's you need that within commentary, I believe, for sure. So I don't know. Alex Smith, to me, he's just not it now. He could surprise me. I'm just going off of straight interviews. I've talked to Alex before. He's just a guy that I don't see the charisma in him. I just don't see it.
Not at all.
And I think on paper, looking at it, I wouldn't be like, okay, I'm going to tune in just because Alex Smith is on this. So it's not a standout, so maybe he'll take us by surprise.
Yeah.
Maybe he will. Good luck to him.
Hopefully for Steve.
Agree to disagree on that one, I guess. Alabama head coach Nick Saban extended 3 years through 2028 college football season. Hate it or love it.
Job security. You got to love it.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier this week, man. And Nick Saban, I mean, he's one of the greatest college football coaches ever, arguably, and are you better with him or without him?
Yeah. And I mean, you're guaranteed until 2028. I mean, that just says, what recruits from 2028 was he making promises to?
Oh, a lot.
That's a lot.
A lot.
How much money you think they paid him
to pay Nick Saban?
No. How much money you think he paid the 2028 recruits?
Man, I don't.
I'm joking.
But it's the reason you say that. But I feel like a lot of these, and I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but some of that salary is divvied out to some of those guys, some of those kids. I'm just saying.
We were reading the contract the other day, and he gets $800,000 just for finishing each season from here on out. How much of that $800,000 you think is going to recruits?
Man.
Or should I say, how much is going to new Honda Accords?
Exactly. It's like, hey, I'm gonna go to this restaurant. I'm gonna leave this $200 tip. Y'all know where to go get that tip to. That $200 is my tip, but it's going somewhere or whatever.
No, it's going to recruits in there.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
Yeah, because we talk about it all the time.
Because are they going to bust Nick Saban? No.
Nope. I mean, but at the end of the day, we've seen Coach K retire. He's going to retire after this season, and the reason why is because he's like, hey, I'm tired of this. I'm not going to have y'all tarnish my name because you want to bring up some old stuff. So
hey, Joe Paterno retired because they couldn't sexually abuse kids anymore. So hey, it happens.
Where'd that come from?
I mean, we were talking about coaches leaving the game.
Yeah, true.
And I'm thinking, like, if he has these recruits promise, he's making promises to 8th graders, freshmen. They're already.
So that's what I'm saying.
Already headed that way. That's crazy.
Shoot, Peyton's going to the 4th. Throw us the bag. I'd send him to Alabama.
You don't have to be doing enough push-ups a day, Steve.
Right.
You got to be doing 300 a day.
Yeah, I'd send him to Alabama. Throw us the bag. Shoot, Nick, you listening to this? I'm open. Got a 4th grader.
Right.
I mean, hey.
I don't know what I was doing in 4th grade, but I don't think it was thinking about committing to college yet. Yet.
Hey, we always open over here.
I probably was.
What T.O. say? I'm always open. Hey, we open.
Yeah. I wasn't looking for the academic side of it.
Right.
I was definitely wanting to sign with Notre Dame in 4th grade.
Yeah, mine was wide. I think my top ones were KU and Notre Dame. So wide left. Notre Dame had a really good women's soccer program.
Yeah, I like the gold helmets.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Nice.
Fair enough. Now, recent Navy grad blocked from joining the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hate it or love it?
You hate it. There were other servicemen from another branch of the military allowed to. And he wasn't. I read a little bit into it, and they were saying, I think with Navy, they don't allow guys to do that. So it's unfortunate for him. He really has to be, for the lack of a better term, he has to be a slave for the Navy for another year because they weren't ready to allow him to go, which sounds crazy. Like when you think about it, like, hey, I want to give this up and go do what I want to do. And it's like, no.
Yeah. Man, I understand what he signed up for. He signed up for the military, right? But the thing about it is he also signed up for a sport too. Like he should be able to do both. I mean, if you need him for something, of course he understands that he has that obligation, but he should just be able to do both. I mean, we've seen it happen before. And then not only that, we've seen kids from, and he even talked about it when he was interviewed. There's other kids that have graduated from school who are enlisted and they've been able to go with their team. So it's just, to me,
they were just they were in different branches of the military. So,
oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah. So that was the only caveat to that. But even still, like,
yeah,
he shouldn't be forced to stay. But
it's crazy to me.
We talk about it every week. It's all about control.
Yeah, it's crazy. One I want to throw out there for y'all, and this would be a hater to love it, that I just got while I was at the barbershop earlier. It was a guy that was talking about these robots that NFL that are planning to be inside of NFL stadiums.
More surveillance, yes.
Hate it or love it.
More surveillance, we hate it.
Yeah.
Like, what are these robots supposed to do?
That's the thing. It's like, I'm wondering, is it just more, you say for surveillance, but like, is it just for facial recognition? Is it, what are they supposed to do? And the guy was saying, he was like, oh, well, they're supposed to be $7 an hour. They looked at the fee to have them. They're going to charge them $7 an hour. And there's going to be like a guy that's going to be watching all these cameras or whatever of just these robots, 6 foot tall robot roaming around to just get some surveillance.
Yeah.
In the stadium, which is crazy.
So control.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. But I mean, what are we gonna do? I don't think anybody's gonna stop watching the NFL.
Right.
Jazz, how tall are you?
5'1".
You see
solid 5'1".
You see this 6 foot robot rolling up to you. What you gonna do?
I'm a little intimidated. I'm not gonna lie. And the fact that it's like, is somebody controlling them? Like they're on a track. What if a little kid gets ran over or something? I don't know. I think it's interesting. And what's the difference between them having a robot do it? Why couldn't you just have security or a normal person?
Well, because then you got to pay people.
Yeah, and minimum wage, what, $15 an hour now?
Yeah,
something like that. $7, $15. They looking at their bottom line.
So again, it's about control. It's not about paying people. It's not about keeping people safe.
Yeah,
it's control. It happens.
Yeah. Again, remember, we're down here 18th and Vine. We're on the corner of 18th and Paseo, and there's it's a parade that's happening, Juneteenth parade. You come down here. You still have a little time left to come down here. Kicks off at 12 noon. It's the kickoff spot is starting on 18th and Benton, going all the way down 18th Street, and it ends right where we are. So there's people walking up. Bring your kids down here. It's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of vehicles in the parade.
A lot of families out here too. It's been traffic's been picking up the last like 20 or 30 minutes.
It most definitely has. What do you guys have going on for the rest of the day?
Juneteenth jump off. I'll be over at the Nail on 18th and McGee, 3 to 7. It's another Juneteenth celebration. Be some Black business owners, entrepreneurs, different things. Family friendly environment, so everybody can come check it out.
Fun. Hanging out here, of course.
Yeah.
Maybe find something to get into later since it's nice outside. And
course.
we're back outside. We outside.
Outside is open.
Right.
Yeah, shout out to my niece. She, Callie, she has a recital today, so I may slide to that, and it starts at 1. So I'm gonna go there and check her out during her recital thing. First recital for her, so, and haven't really been to a recital before. So I'm gonna see what that's about.
So you're gonna celebrate with champagne, huh?
Grape juice.
Well, no, the champagne will be for you.
Oh, well, yeah, that too. A little squirt bottle, a little something.
You'll be squirting yourself today. That's good.
On that note, we appreciate everybody watching us. Another great show today. Remember, you still have time to come down here for the Juneteenth Cultural Parade, 18th and Vine. Anywhere along 18th Street between Benton and Vine is where you can come. Until next week, remember, we're kicking off our barbershop tour. If you know a barbershop where you think they would like us to be and broadcast our show, let us know. We would definitely love to come and hang out at your barbershop. So let us know. We'll post more information about that on our social media pages later today. But until next week, we are out of here.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundation, or affiliates.